of the fact that nothing wants to work. So I'll just thankfully that's why we have friends that help each other out here. So yes, we are back for season 2 of Club Copilot, which is amazing. Which is funny also, now the chat's like showing up there. So maybe it will let me join. I don't know. We'll figure this out. We're back for season 2. We're very excited. Those of you that have been our friends and fans before, and you have been reaching out and saying, when is this happening? When will you be back? We appreciate your patience. We have, let me see. Okay, it might let me in here, y'all. Let me see. Now
just run with it. Just run with the phone. You're good.
Okay, well, I'm like semi multitasking. Yeah. So we've had a lot going on. There's been a lot of change and transition for us. And so we just couldn't get things off the ground fast enough. And we appreciate it that you've stuck with us and you've shown up. And what is funny is those of you who know Club Copilot know we go to a new club every month. And I couldn't think of where we wanted to go. I looked at what we had last year and I was like, okay, where are we going to head this year for the first club? And the only thing I could think of was drama club, because I am a full drama club dork, love drama club. And then it just so happens that I am in New York City this week for what I like to call the week of getting away from my family and reality and going to see shows. So, we've seen Ragtime this week, and we've seen Hell's Kitchen, and last night was Heather's. So, based on the musical or the movie from the 80s. So if you were a fan of the movie, this is funny. And so, yeah, I have another one tonight, going to see Hadestown. But Drama Club is here. We are excited. Yes, please drop ideas for the clubs, because we were so good. We had them all ready last year, and then like our brains stopped working. But we are happy to be here. We are so excited that we've got some new things. So Dwayne, we've got our, those of you who know me, wait, hang on one second, go back. Those of you who know me know that I make all my images Pixar images. So this is Carlos, Heather, and Dwayne as Pixar people. And next month, or next meeting actually, we will have new Pixar people, because we have new friends joining the club. Welcome to the club. I realized that we didn't actually introduce ourselves. For those of you who don't know me, I am Heather Cox, and I'm a manager of Cloud Solution Architects. Dwayne, why don't you do yours, Carlos, and then our new club members, our new club hosts are gonna introduce themselves really quickly.
Carlos?
Oh, I thought it was either. All right. So Carlos
I did
Fernandez.
say Dwayne, but
Oh, you did?
I know.
Sorry. I just expected seniority. I know where I stand. Carlos.
He wanted to go last.
Yeah.
All right. So Carlos Fernandez, director specialist, AI workforce, all things Copilot, living and breathing, and living the dream. Dwayne.
I'm Dwayne Hyatt. I am a cloud solution architect. I am a part of the customer success unit, which is a group of ninjas that help customers deploy and use stuff that they have. You might see me on calls if you have a support from a CSAM or something like that. They might pull one of us in to come help you do something. And I am a Copilot architect, so I spend most of my days helping people learn how to do cool stuff with Copilot, which we're going to talk about today. I'm excited. Darren's not here yet. He'll be coming in like 6 minutes, but Lindsay?
Does that mean I get to talk for 6 minutes? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Lindsay Henderson here, honored to be part of Club Copilot this year. Heather's living out my theater kid dream in New York right now. But I am a lot of y'all, some of y'all's AI workforce specialist. I align with some of the greater higher eds here in Texas. And Thursday will be my 8 years with Microsoft, that anniversary. So
Yay.
I feel like I got a promotion being part of Club Copilot. So this is great.
Yes, well, we appreciate all the friends that want to be here with us. For those of you who don't know, these little communities, not that they're all that little, but these communities, Club Copilot, those of you that are our friends on MS Office Hours, some of you attend the LTI office hours, some of you attend Endpoint office hours. These are all communities that all of us as employees run because we love it. None of them are actually part of jobs that we're required to do, but we know that Copilot is such a big thing. We know that everybody wants to learn more about it. So we had this idea last year. I'd like to call it a brilliant idea, but some days I'm not sure. But yeah, so we are excited that you're here with us. And all right, you want to go? I know Dwayne hates this, but I'm going to next slide him. I'm going to say next
I will
slide.
give you a pass because of your current technical difficulties. It's fine. I'll drive. That's okay.
Okay, so one thing that we do every call we do, and in case you were wondering, and we have Copilot answer a question for us. So in case you were wondering, since it's drama club, I thought, you know what, let's figure out what is the highest grossing Broadway musical of all time, because I do get to see Hamilton this week. I've seen it before because I'm like Lindsay, a recovering high school theater kid. And I'm very excited because for those of you aware, Leslie Odom Jr., the original Aaron Burr, he is performing. So I thought maybe that was pretty high up there. But no, we've got The Lion King, Wicked, Phantom of the Opera, Hamilton, and the Book of Mormon. So yeah, I'm curious if you want to drop in the chat how many people, please join Lindsay and I in our full dorkdom. We are, there's no shame in our dorky theater kid game. So if you are also like us, we would love to know. But yeah, so Copilot answers a question for us for each call. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. All right, but let's figure out what we're going to be focusing on this week. All right, now welcome back. That we did that already. We already checked that off. For those of you that know our friend Will Thomas, who helped us out last year, Will makes us little baby icons of himself. But we'll do some quick reminders and recap each month. We'll do a what's new and a feature of the month. We're actually kind of merging those. And then we've got what's next. So let's do those quick reminders and recap for you. We have 2 calls each month. And because I was also a 4th grade teacher, I am obsessed with alliteration. So felt like instead of call 1 and call 2, we were going to go with listen and learn. And then we'll have asks and answers for our next one. So this one is more, you just sit. You're going to sit, you'll listen to us. Thankfully, I don't do most of the talking, so you don't have to listen to me. But this Club Copilot is about you. The cool thing about this audience is we have academic, we have technical, we have K-12, we have higher ed. So we have everybody on here. And what our goal always is to meet your needs with end user information and training. So this is not like, we aren't going to do, as you see in all caps, this is not technical support. We do have MS National Office Hours. We'll share that link. That's where we do technical support. But this is what's new, what's going on, how do you use this product, what's going to be productive and efficient for you. Hopefully this year, and that's why I'm really, really pumped about Lindsay joining us and Darren joining us, because they have probably some great stories and customers they've worked with who'd be willing to share some of the cool things that they have done. But that's the purpose of Club Copilot for you. So if you're not familiar with what we're doing, that is the reason that we are here. All right, we're almost to the meat of the show here. In June, we've been off for a bit. In June, that was our last one. We had a long summer break, not from actual work, just from Club Copilot. We do have a YouTube channel. You can check out that June recording. If you are not currently in the team, we'll get you in there. We had some issues adding folks to the team, but I believe we have now fixed them. That link right there will do the registration. So if you don't have access, make sure you're adding your name to that page. And then some links you'll always want to keep handy are the ones that are on the right-hand side of the page, the roadmap, the blogs, all of those pieces. And then that office hours community that I referenced. Oh yeah, and I can't see if people are on camera other than Dwayne, Carlos, Lindsay. You are always welcome to grab that background, put it on. Normally, that's my favorite part, is seeing the faces of everybody, but obviously I don't like being on my phone doing this. But I love the faces. That's why we do these. We love the people that are a part of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. If it weren't for y'all, we would be like, you can read it on your own. But okay, I think we got maybe one more.
I think we just wanted to make sure that they weren't AI, right? Just joking.
All right.
Just joking.
So I'm gonna shut up. And as you know, this is the drama club. I don't know how many of you also, if you're high schools, we had the very stereotypical red curtain on the stage. We loved I lived there. Lindsay, I'm guessing maybe you lived in yours as well. That was my high school home, was the theater. And so what we did this time was our feature of the month is actually what's new with Copilot, because it has been so long since we've talked to you. We did just a giant merge of those things. So Dwayne and Carlos are going to handle the bulk of those things. Lindsay, we figured we'd give Lindsay like an easy time for round one here. But Lindsay, anything that Dwayne says and you have something you want to add, we love interruptions. So you are welcome to interrupt and add on and do those kinds of things. That is fantastic. So I will mute myself. I'm probably going to turn the camera off just for a little bit to see if I can attempt to fix some computer issues. But I will be here the entire time. So, all right, take it away, boys.
Thanks, boss. Okay, as you heard, we normally do a feature highlight after we talk about what's new, but in this case, everything that we're going to talk about is new and it's new features. So we're just mushing it all together into one like mega section of awesome stuff. At least I hope that you think it's awesome. This is an old slide. Normally, when I am teaching a group of people about Copilot Chat, I'll show them that, hey, there's a lot of places that you can get to Copilot. There's a lot of apps that are entry points to get to Copilot. And I'll say stuff like, this is not 6 different Copilots. This is 6 different ways to get to Copilot. The reason why we do this is because of something we like to call the flow of work. We want to put Copilot near you. We don't want you to have to switch windows, because does everybody know what happens when you switch windows? Carlos, what happens to you if you're in your browser and you're like, oh, I need to switch windows, and then you get like a little pop-up from Outlook? What happens? Where do you
lost
go?
Me. And you lost. I do everything I shouldn't do, and I click on things, and then I have to call you to save me and bring me back. No, I have the attention span of Doug with a squirrel running through him. So yeah,
It was a reference to the movie Up for everybody who may not know.
I will tell you something interesting about this slide though, Dwayne. I cheated. I cheated on Microsoft, like I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I forced myself to use other browsers. And I won't say the names, but I mean, everybody knows there's, certain browsers out there that are very popular and some new ones as well. And I couldn't take it. I had to go back to Edge because of what you're going to talk about today. It was just too big of a deal.
Yeah. Edge has a pretty special capability of Copilot being built into the browser itself. A use case for this is content that you're looking at. You can ground Copilot. So grounding is when I want to provide AI data that it wouldn't normally know on its own. Grounding is how you actually make Copilot personal to you. Like you all have your own stuff, right? You've got your own content, your own things that you work on, stuff that's not generally available to the world. Grounding is how you get a personal experience with AI. And so being able to ground Copilot on the page that you're currently looking at is pretty powerful. In education, you could be looking at a research paper, a journal that was published, right? That you want to understand, or you just want to ask questions. Maybe it's your own paper that you wrote and you need to write a description of it because you're going to do a webinar at a conference or something like that. Having Copilot built right into Edge lets you ask questions and create information based on whatever you're looking at. And that's pretty cool. And we're going to take that to a whole new level here in just a second. But one important thing about this, having Copilot chat integrated into all of these different experiences means that it's all one stream of thought, right? Across all these different applications. Example would be if you have a commute, maybe you ride a train to work, I don't know, and you're on your phone and you're talking to Copilot. You have the Copilot app down at the bottom right-hand corner. There's mobile apps for iOS and Android. You're talking to Copilot. You get to the office, you walk in, you sit down at your desk, you open up the Copilot app, you can resume that same conversation. That's what I mean by one stream of thought. I can pick up where I left off across all of these different entry points. Now, the big news is this is the biggest change to Copilot since it launched. I don't know, fact check me, Microsoft friends. Is this in your mind the biggest change to Copilot since it came out?
I think this is going to be the most impactful one. It's like we've released little cool things here and there that are really helpful for individuals. I think this is the one that's going to be helpful, like spread across everybody like peanut butter.
Yes.
So I'm a fan.
This is the inclusion of Copilot chat directly in all of the Microsoft 365 apps. That would be Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and for some reason not pictured, OneNote. All 5 of those are going to have a Copilot chat pane, exactly like what I just described for Microsoft Edge. It will be included in the Office applications, allowing you to do all the same stuff that I just described Edge being able to do, except now natively in the flow of work. So there was like a hacky workaround. I actually told people how to do this for a while and it felt kind of wrong, but it worked. If they were like, hey, I want to use Copilot with this Word document, way back before we could do like attachments and stuff, I would say, open it in Word Online in Edge. Open that email in Outlook in your web browser using Edge, and then just ask Copilot a question about whatever it is that's on the screen. And you could do that, and it worked. Now we're including that same level of functionality built right into it. There is a link on the screen. I'm using PowerPoint Live. Hopefully, if you know me, this is my only way. If I can help it, I'm using PowerPoint Live. You can click that. That's the announcement post that takes you to like all the stuff that the marketing team put together about this. Thank you, Carlos, dropped it in the chat for you as well. But this is a big deal. And when we talk about impact and like this is the biggest change, this is going to affect every single M365 user on the planet. So I don't think it could be much bigger of an impact when it comes to AI. That means every faculty, every staff, and every student 13 and up will start to see Copilot chat directly in the Office applications. If
All right,
you are
Dwayne.
yes,
First question we're gonna get asked every single time, right? Is this free? Do I have to
yes,
pay extra for this?
no. This
Got it.
is included in M365. In fact, if you click on that blog post, like it says at no extra cost somewhere inside of it. I've zoomed in on it and shown it to lots of people recently because, as you can imagine, we're having this conversation quite frequently. But yeah, this is no extra cost. This is built into M365. Nobody has to buy anything. You all, every single one of you, will now have the same kind of capability that some of our licensed users had a couple years ago, where you can look at an email and just say, what the heck do they want? What do they want me to do? Do you ever get forwarded long email threads? That is like, I call Outlook the black hole of productivity. Carlos pointed it out earlier. He alt tabs, sees an email, boom, he's gone. I got to drag him back. Got to get him back to reality. You can now just say, hey, Copilot, this long email that I just got forwarded, what do they want me to do? Are there any outstanding action items, things that I need to do? And then when it helps you do that, then you can say, help me draft a reply and use this website for technical documentation. Because normally I'm writing like techie emails. Use this to help me draft a reply to tell them what to try next based on what they said they've tried so far in the email thread without me having to scroll all the way down to the bottom and read everything that they wrote from the bottom up.
So
And
Dwayne,
yes, Mac OS, Carlos, Mac expert, local Mac expert.
yep, works in Mac OS just fine. Yep, no issues. Just the same way that you see inside of Windows. Um, Dwayne, I got asked this by a customer, and that I think for many reasons we've been, sometimes something comes out and we're like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, or they kind of freak out because they're like, wait a second, is this gonna have access to like everything? So you said email thread. Just want to be very, very clear and make sure with you. You're telling me that here I can use the awesomeness of Copilot within that email thread. In other words, are you saying the email that's open, or is this going
Yes.
to have access to every single email that I have, like graph type data?
Well, I have a chart coming up because everybody loves a good chart, but sneak peek to the chart is yes, you can do what we call grounding on the currently open file. So if you're looking at an email, you can ask questions about the email. You cannot ask questions about all of your email. You can ask questions about the email that you're currently looking at. Where'd he go? Oh, he's still here. He just went camera off. Okay. I guess he's hiding. That's all right.
Yep. It's my son's birthday, and I think he knows when the door's closed. So I think he came in to just see if I was on a call. That's all.
You have a virtual background on.
Oh,
You couldn't
well,
tell.
sometimes I forgot. Yeah, he's turning 11, and I'm forcing him to use Copilot.
Okay, that's
Go
good.
for it.
Good dad. Copilot chat in PowerPoint. What are some things I could do here? Well, PowerPoint's how you tell a story, right? I have a lesson that I want to give. I have a pitch that I want to do. I have a story I need to tell. Ask questions about it. Have it review it. Have it challenge you. Have it come up with an FAQ or criticisms or some advanced prompting. I say advanced, like this has been around for a little while now. Telling Copilot, let's say you're a ninth grade teacher. Hey, here's my presentation I'm going to give for my ninth grade class. Act like you're a ninth grader. What are some things in here that you might struggle with? What are some complex topics? What are some questions a ninth grader might ask, like assigning Copilot itself a persona directly in the data that you're looking at? Super cool. I would love using Copilot to help me come up with my speaker notes, like for a particular slide. How you tell the story is important. I think of a lot of experienced PowerPoint users would recognize, and our speaker coach that's built into PowerPoint will actually ding you for doing this. If you just read what's on the slide, I'm not reading what's on the slide right now. I'm just running with it. I'm running wild. I don't actually read what's on the slide. You can do that yourself. I'm telling you the story about what's on the slide. So having Copilot help you create some speaker notes would be a great way to leverage this. Image generation, especially with our younger ones, coming up with really cool pictures, Minecraft themed stuff. You want to tell a story. You got, so I did a in-person with a school district and with a bunch of teachers, and we did creating a lesson plan for fourth grade on ecology. And we came up with individualized activities and questions, and then included imagery of the lesson that we were teaching and made it look like Minecraft. You could do that directly in the PowerPoint deck and then insert the image into the deck. So if you can't find a stock photo, or you're not like a graphic artist or something like that, this is a lot of power and can make your stories a lot more engaging. And you don't have to, again, flow of work. You don't have to leave PowerPoint and run over to the Copilot app and generate an image and then copy it and paste it and put it back in. Lots of switching. You could just do it right there inside of the presentation.
So, Dwayne, for me, this keeps on going back to just the concept of what can Copilot do to just better my presentation. I need some ideas. Help me out. There's something I don't know how to do. Bam.
Yeah.
It's for students, faculty, staff, anybody.
Yeah. You could even ask it how to use PowerPoint itself. Like, I'm trying to do something in PowerPoint and I can't figure it out. Teach me how to use the format painter in PowerPoint, or teach me how to update the template that I'm using right now. Like, I don't know how to actually edit this. Like, you could even use it for coaching on the application itself. And that, of course, applies to all of the Office applications. So I'm pretty excited about this one. And after I go through these slides, I am going to kill the screen share and I'll show you this live. I'm also curious, for those of you who are on the call, I would love some feedback. Tell me, if you are a user that does not have a paid license, if you open up Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, do you see a Copilot button on the ribbon now? I'd like to know. It is actively rolling out, so some of you should see it like live in the wild. Copilot chat over here in Microsoft Word. Help me write an intro paragraph, or break this down for me into a session description or syllabus or something like that. Help me come up with some questions, some quiz questions based on this document that I wrote. And just overall asking questions about a document. I think that is a big time evolution. So we are going from keyword searching, which is not super, I don't know, efficient. Like, we've been taught how to do that for 30 years of using search engines. And we would replicate that same kind of behavior of just hunting for words inside of a document so that we could find the answer to our question. Every single user now will be able to just open the document and ask the question. Imagine this is like an assignment or a lesson, and you give this to a student and they're struggling with understanding something in it, like maybe part of the instructions or one of the subjects that's included in it. They could just ask the question directly in the document. Help me understand what I'm supposed to do here. I don't get this. It's a tutor now built directly into the Word document, which is pretty awesome. Oh, cool. Good observation, Lauren. Yeah, this is different from the Copilot app that was available in Teams and Outlook, which, yeah, as you stated, is just another way to get to the chat application. This is a whole new ballgame. Very, very, very cool stuff. One more, we got Excel. I don't have one on OneNote. I don't know why they didn't make one, but all of these slides were yanked from our adoption site. I'll give you a link to our trainer kit. These came from the trainer kit. So if you want to use the trainer kit with your own people, we got a head start for you here that you can use. So getting insights from data in Excel, leveraging what we call code interpreter. Code interpreter can actually create and execute Python code to create visualizations of data. So bar charts, graphs, pie charts, that kind of stuff. If you wanted to just create a visualization of the data that's already in your Excel spreadsheet, you could do that in the side chat right in Excel and then copy the image and drop it into the Excel chart. Asking it questions, of course, of how do I use this data? Help me come up with a formula. What it can't do is actually affect those changes directly in the workbook itself. So you can't say, do this thing and it write the formula for you and then run it. But it can help you understand how to use Excel, how to write formulas, how to identify the right formula for something that you are trying to do. In all of these experiences, you're going to see a button here, the little plus sign, right? That will let you ground the chat on another file. So now you got two data sources that you're using. So you could say, hey, here's the data from something, and here's a Word document that talks about the project that we're doing. Help me, reconcile all of this information based on the project and the data that I'm looking at. How good are we going? How are things going? Like, are we on the right track? That kind of stuff. And I do have some demos for each of these that I'll do. Here's the chart, Carlos, that you spoiled. So this chart talks about what the differences are, because I realize we just made things really cloudy. Really fuzzy. Who has what and how do I know the difference? Well, I'll show you some of those when I switch over to my computer and do some live demo. The major differences here is, of course, the second row, work data. You can ask questions about what you're currently looking at. You can't ask questions about everything that you have access to. So, example, I'm reading an email. I can ask questions about that email. I cannot ask Copilot to look at all of the email that I've received so far this week and then extract any action items or things that I may have missed based on all of my communications. That's what we mean by access to work data. M365 Copilot, which now we're using some terminology around like premium features. Premium features would imply I have direct integrated access to all of my work data. Another one is you can look at a file and you can ask questions about the file. You cannot create and edit in Command Office. So Command would be like insert a slide in PowerPoint about X, Y, and Z topic. That is telling Copilot the application, that's telling PowerPoint the application to actually do something. And you are generating content directly on the canvas. So that is a difference between the two. And then access to the deep reasoning AI agents like researcher and analyst, that still requires a license.
Hey,
The
Dwayne,
next,
we got a great question here from Rebecca. I didn't want to ignore it because it's awesome. And I'm like trying to test this out myself, creating a zip file just so you can see this.
yeah, we've added additional file formats, like MP4, I think even AutoCAD file formats and stuff like that. But zip is not something I could see working, because a zip contains who knows how many files, right? A zip could have 1,000 files inside of it. And a zip implies that we would actually extract that data from an archive and then read it. So I'm going to say hard no on on zip. Unless Carlos, did you just try it?
I'm not even trying it. I'm looking into a bunch of documentation, and yep, it does not currently extract, just like what you said, or analyze any of the contents automatically.
Thanks, man.
I'm looking to see if there's anything on the roadmap maybe around this coming in the future, but no answer yet.
Yeah. GPT-5 came up in the chat here. So great question about, does this have access to GPT-5? That is not currently the thing. GPT-5 is something that all users have access to. GPT-5, for those who don't know, is a brand new model. I say brand new, it came out 2 months ago. So the very beginning of August, GPT-5 was released by OpenAI. If you're not aware, Copilot leverages models created by OpenAI. We host our own private instances of those models that we modify and make work for our Copilot product. OpenAI does not have access to them. They are privately hosted in the Microsoft cloud and are inside of what we refer to as the M365 service boundary. GPT-5 being one of them that people were super excited about. I'm excited about it. I really like using it. It's pretty cool. Well, why would I use that? Why would I care about that? Well, I have a slide for that. GPT 4.0 is pretty much like the standard daily driver, we'll call it. And then GPT-5 came out and it was like, you know, the Corvette. Like you don't take the Corvette to like every single, you know, trip to the grocery store, right? It's fun, but you probably take like, I don't know, the Honda Accord or the Chevy Cavalier or something like that, to go get the groceries. Every once in a while, you might want to use the Vet. So the Vet came out, we call it GPT-5, and it gives you super fast responses. We literally call it high throughput mode. I actually, for fun, earlier today, chatting with some colleagues, I did 2 windows side by side, GPT-5 on the left, non-GPT-5 on the right, copy and pasted the exact same prompt. And I play video games, y'all. I can click pretty quick. And I clicked go on both of them at nearly the same time. And the GPT-5 one was like, I'm done. Here's all your stuff. And the other one was like still running. So that's the biggest improvement, is it's ridiculously fast. The other thing that it can do that's really cool is you see in the middle there's this thing called the real-time router. I talked about analyst and researcher earlier. Those are called deep reasoning. Those use something called O3 Mini, which is OpenAI's reasoning capability, their reasoning model. A reasoning model is one that can actually stop and think about what it's doing and explain its thought process to you. And that takes time. It's slower. The perception is it's slower. The output that you get, however, is way better and a lot more accurate in a lot of cases. GPT-5 can pivot between high throughput and deeper reasoning on the fly. So if you ask Copilot to do something that's very complex, like I did some demos with some customers of like generating really complicated schedules, you know, that's an easy one. I think that everybody could probably agree is really hard and really complicated. Here's a schedule. Here's the parameters. Here's the days. Here's the requirements. Here's all the holidays that we're not allowed to, you know, work for. And we got to have an even distribution and rotation amongst these, you know, 20 different groups of people. GPT-5 tore that up, and it was able to enter into deeper reasoning mode and explain to me the entire time its thought process on how it was actually going to accomplish the task that I gave it. So this is something that all of you will have access to. You will see a try GPT-5 button up at the top right-hand corner of your screen.
So Dwayne, today they're going to be using, keep me honest, it's 4.0, 4.1 is the default.
So fun fact about Copilot, the model router idea is actually something that we've been doing in Copilot. We have several models available, and based on what you ask Copilot to do, it may pivot and pick a different model depending on the task at hand. We call this orchestration. But yeah, the primary daily driver, the Honda Accord. I'm not dissing on Honda Accords. I drove one for a long time. Is GPT 4.0 that does most of the heavy lifting. But yeah, they'll be able to select this button up here now. Try GPT 5. When you click that button, if you have a license or not, you might see a little bit different terminology here. It says you can use GPT-5 with standard access. I would encourage everyone to click the Learn More link so you can realize and understand what that means. That is a difference between standard features and premium features. And I'm not going to wait on the website to load, y'all. I don't know why that's taken forever, but y'all, hopefully that's not a a sign of all my demos I'm about to do. But GPT-5 available there. A lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about some of the new stuff. Well, Outlook. This is Outlook Classic. Carlos and I refer to this as Old Busted. So Outlook Classic, still there, has Copilot in it. If you are still on Outlook Classic, you could open an email. In this case, I've got updates on Project Bacon. Nestor sent email to Beverly about, hey, here's all the stuff that we're going to do about Project Bacon. And that's a lot of words. And I don't want to read it all. So I could just say, summarize this email into 5 concise bullet points. And Copilot will be able to read this email and give me a summary of it. Here you go. Referencing the email, because of course that's what I'm looking at. So there you go. We're done. That was pretty good. I could say, hey, help me draft a reply. You know, it says that, and I could use that. I could say, yep, let me draft a reply, put it in this tone, this kind of thing. This is an Outlook Classic, which I'm going to be honest, I was pretty surprised to see this. I think it's fair to say that the expectation is if you are expecting not old busted, but new hotness, that's a Men in Black reference if everybody hasn't seen that. I have the GIF here somewhere, so I just type in.
Luke
I
put
beat
it
you
in
to
there.
it, Dwayne. I was ready.
Yeah.
Oh, you were ready? Okay, thank you.
Luke was waiting for his moment.
New hotness is new Outlook. It will get a lot of the newer capabilities and features before old busted. And I would like to say, personal accomplishment. I got Heather Cox to use New Outlook for like a while. Like she actually messaged me one day and she's like, I just want to let you know, I've used Outlook, New Outlook all day long. Like maybe even, it might have even been multiple days in a row. I can't remember. I don't know how far we've gotten in that journey, but I felt pretty good about myself.
It's okay, Dwayne. Remember, not everyone likes change. Everybody, some people drive in first gear. Some people, hit the fourth gear. and it's okay as long as they are driving slowly and safely.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, now I'm sad. Never mind. Everything I just said doesn't matter. One thing I want to point out that's a little bit of a, we'll call it a quirk, is not a quirk, design element, whatever, is you got to have the preview pane on, like the reading pane. So if I just go open the email directly, there's no Copilot button here. Huh. So you got to have the preview pane on to get to Copilot in the core, like the main Outlook app. I have run into 2 people and so far that don't use the preview pane. I don't know. That's a personal choice, just like reverting to old busted from new hotness is a personal choice, but I just don't feel like I could live my life without the preview pane. I can't imagine having to click on and open every single email to read it. So I don't know how many of you that affects. That's a personal preference. But just wanted you to be aware if you don't use the preview pane and you're like, I don't see it, the Microsoft guy lied. Nope. This is how it works.
Dwayne, everything you're showing, I know that a lot of times we live in, we'll call it desktop world, right? Where with these desktop applications, there's a lot of Mac users out there. The Mac users say, you guys can do everything that you're seeing so far over here. But also whether you're a Mac user or PC user, a lot of people, just to make sure that they're running the latest and greatest, are running everything online. So everything you're showing should work exactly the same way that you're showing it if you're on Office Online. Is that correct?
I mean, you put me in a bit of a trap there. The answer is, well, I don't know hey, it worked. The answer is not exactly. In my personal experience in my lab environment, I noticed that my test user, Beverly, she got access to Copilot in the desktop applications and not in the web applications. So, and I have had other peers of mine validate that as well. So right now it is a desktop thing with the exception of Outlook. Outlook, it does show up. You can see here, there's no Copilot button in the ribbon when I'm using Word Online. But there is in Word on desktop. I don't know why. I imagine web is going to get updated relatively soon and users will be able to do it in either place, but this is one of the rare cases where we were able to add a feature that's like new and exciting to desktop first. Usually it goes to web first, like you were saying.
So it should be rolling out.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
yeah. I mean, it's in Outlook. So if I go back, whoops, that's the wrong computer. What's wrong with me? If I launch Outlook in my browser, I should get Copilot eventually will load right there. Or it'll make a liar out of me because, you know, I'm live in front of customers. That's how it typically goes when I do live demos sometimes. But it will be there. Like I said, I've actually seen it. Here's Word. I'm already in Microsoft Word. I could ask a question about this document. If you've ever seen me demo before, you know that it's typically about bacon. Don't ask why. I'm just creature of habit. So here's a scientific paper about why bacon smells good when you cook it in your kitchen. So I could actually ask a question about that. So like, what chemicals are involved in the smell of bacon when cooking it? So I could ask it that question. I have a typo in there. I know that Copilot doesn't care. It's just going to run with it. So the Maillard reaction, that's actually what makes your steak nice and crispy when you sear it, just FYI. And here's the chemicals that are a part of that. And you can see it is grounded on the file that I'm currently looking at. So this is that example I was telling you earlier about. I don't have to hit Control F on my keyboard and like type in chemical and see, okay, where, in fact, this document only says chemical once. That wouldn't have answered my question. That's way less efficient than just ask the question, get the answer based on the document that you're currently looking at. So this is pretty powerful. I could say generate 10 questions based on this doc at a 9th grade level. Not a great prompt. I could have put a lot more thought into it, but you'll get the idea. So here is the questions. You know, I didn't actually specify that I wanted it to be a quiz. I could have done that. So I could just say, make the questions a multiple choice quiz.
And don't be afraid to go in there and change it. Like you don't like number 1 or number 2. I just go back in there and say rewrite number 1 and number 2, right? Maybe you like 3 and 4. There's nothing wrong. I would always say be nice to the AI. If you've ever seen Terminator, we just joke around about that. But I tend to be a little bossy when I'm talking to AI, or I'll just say I'm explicit, Dwayne, right? I just get right to the point. Do this, do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. It's more efficient. I would think that AI appreciates efficiency. So I just said, make these quiz questions, and then I just clicked, there's a little button right here. I kind of zoomed in on it for everybody, where you get like an insert. That means I can take whatever I created, whatever I created over here, and I can insert it into my document. So this does give you some level of what we call creation in addition to comprehension. I can understand the data and I can make new stuff based on that data and I can push it into the Word document. So I think that's pretty powerful. So now I have my 10 questions here on, you know, why bacon smells good, and people can take my quiz or something like that. Or I could copy that. I don't know, maybe some of my Microsoft Forms ninjas out there could tell me, like, isn't there an option to import quizzes from like a PDF or something like that? Can't remember. My educators, my MIEs, any of those folks that might be on the call, I believe you can import a quiz. So you might be able to leverage this kind of power to make your quizzes. Suck them over into Microsoft Forms. Good to go.
Yeah, great question over here by Lindsay around creating it in QTI file.
I just got wrecked. Somebody said, just ask Copilot. Oh.
Hey, Lindsay, quick answer. So it's not going to create it in a .qti file in there, but it can go and create it in a similar kind of file format. It can do a multiple choice question. It can have like a metadata and different types of structures, mostly in Word, right? So it's not going to create the .qti file from right in there.
I don't know what a QTI file is, if I'm being honest.
QTI is
I could ask
question
Copilot,
and test
yeah.
interoperability.
Oh.
And note to self, never run Club Copilot without having Copilot open in the background.
Okay. As we get towards the end here, if I'm giving a presentation on this and I want to have a fun, a fun, illustration, I could just ask Copilot, generate the image for me. And once it adds or creates my image of a Maine Coon cat, he's a secret agent cat, looks a lot like James Bond. He has an addiction to bacon, so when he orders his martini, he doesn't get it garnished with an olive. He gets it garnished with a slice of bacon. And he's in like a really high class lounge where spies would hang out. So that is not an image that you will find in your stock image library. I'm sure of it. So we'll give the cloud a minute here to create my image, and I'll be able to insert it. And just in case it doesn't work, I thought I had it somewhere else. I might have it in one of my previous conversations so you could see the cat. But yeah. So this is a pretty cool capability there. And I don't have a lot to give you for OneNote other than I can show you that Copilot is on the home ribbon. So if your ribbon is collapsed and you don't see it, you got to click home and then you'll see Copilot and you can open it up and you can, same idea. If I'm looking at a OneNote notebook, I can ask questions about what I'm currently looking at in the OneNote notebook. So I think that is pretty powerful. I know OneNote is huge in education. I have always described it to my audiences as a digitized version of the Trapper Keepers from like the 80s and the 90s. That's basically what OneNote can do for you, but without limit. All the files and all the pages can all be trapped inside of your Trapper Keeper.
Hey, Dwayne,
there's my
hate to be
cat.
on the spot. I know that we're running out of time really fast over here, but just a really good question over here. And so there's been so much action that you've been doing from a Copilot chat perspective. Can you show really fast how to go and do a quick search around your different chats and maybe the different types of conversations and just show where all of this is? So even, and then keep me honest here, even if I was doing this inside of Outlook, right? Or if I was doing it inside Word, there's still one spot where it shows everything that I can do a search for.
Yeah. So you're going to see all of those questions that I just asked a second ago in those different applications are synchronized over here to my chat history in the Copilot app. So I've got generate an image, what chemicals are involved in bacon. All of those things that I asked it to do are in that single stream where you're talking about earlier of chat history. So this is the example of I can start something on my phone. I could actually then go over to Microsoft Word and say, okay, now that I'm in Word, create an essay about this thing we've been talking about, and then click that insert button and shove it right into Word, and then go over to PowerPoint and then say, okay, now help me come up with an idea about how I would present this. It can't create the slides for you, but it can help you think on how you would actually deliver that as a presentation, and maybe do something like help you create speaker notes for the slides that you are looking at. So great call out. Underneath all conversations, you'll see that, and you now have a search up here at the top that will help you locate all of those conversations that you have been having. And yeah, I think that's pretty dang good.
That's pretty good.
Look at that little bacon.
Slightly
it looks like it's on a
toothpick
too. Do you see that? Yeah, it's on a toothpick. Like it's a legit garnish.
He's classy. He's a classy cat.
Sorry, I know we got 3 minutes left. I wanted to give you slides, but I know that slides are boring, and I wanted you to be able to see it in real life. So let me pull the slides back up before Heather gets on to me.
You're fine. I'm just laughing at the cat because if you've ever heard me discuss my cat, I have a cat that is very lovingly referred to as Satan's cat. And that one does not look like Satan's cat. Like he looks like a cat that I would really hang out with on the weekend, you know?
I mean, that cat drives an Aston Martin that has
rocket
launchers on it or something. Y'all gotta have fun.
There was one question that we didn't answer, and I kind of said I would say something, but I'm not really gonna say something because I think our next meeting
which is really around asks and answers. And I'll let you talk about this and explain this really fast, Heather. But there was a great question that came up around the latest blog that came out around Claude and what we're doing with Anthropic and what does that partnership look like. And I would tell everybody, for lots and lots of reasons, kind of just pump the brakes a little bit. You were going to really want us to answer this and go into great detail, maybe on this next Asks and Answers call. So just know that that's going to be something that we definitely address. Not saying it's great, not saying it's bad. It's just stuff that you have to read and make sure you fully understand. Okay, Heather.
Yeah, and actually, we have some funny timing sometimes with Club Copilot. And we have Club Copilot on Tuesdays. Microsoft seems to love an announcement on a Wednesday. So maybe pay attention to some things tomorrow. And if you are immediately curious, then you may want to join us on MS National Office Hours, because the things that you may hear tomorrow, you will again be able to discuss on Thursday with MS National Office Hours. So yeah, we're like a Venn diagram of sorts, Club Copilot's one circle and National Office Hours is another. And so there's some crossover pieces in the middle. We do some different things, but there are some elements that overlap there. So yeah, but if you don't want to wait until the next Club Copilot, you can join us there. But we will be back in 2 weeks. And as you're looking at it now, it's what we call asks and answers. So that's our Q&A, really. That's that's our time. We did it that way because we found that we would do this call and then we wouldn't have any time left. So we added on an additional hour, but in 2 weeks. So second and fourth Tuesday, if you're not already familiar with that. I won't forget the email next time. But if you're here, that means you got the invite. At least you got the calendar file. But please share if you know folks that are interested in learning more. Lindsay and Darren will definitely, I don't know if Darren snuck in or if he was able to or not, but we will all thankfully have some things to share and talk about. I appreciate everyone's patience. The level of hate I have for my computer right now is pretty epic. So I am going to walk away from it as soon as this call is over because I might throw it across the room. So thank you everybody for being here today. Again, we appreciate y'all so much for being a part of this community. Spread the word, and hopefully we see you again in 2 weeks. And that's showbiz, baby. I've been throwing a little Taylor Swift too, right? I mean, come on. What? All right, y'all. Have a great night.
Awesome.
Bye.
See everybody.
Bye.
Couple weeks.